Welcome into the Broncos breakdown before we get to the latest news, including Mile High Stadium being on fire and some free agency rumors. Help us reach 7,000 subscribers. We are knocking on the door of 7K, have picked up 1,000 in the last 24 days, so trying to get there before the end of the month. If you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do so. We're going to start off today's show by talking about a breaking news situation happening in Denver right now, as Mile High Stadium is/was on fire, depending on when you're watching this. And at first I saw this picture and I thought, okay, a decent-sized fire, and I'm no fire marshal. And then the pictures from the Denver Fire Department came out, and this is a big fire. Thankfully, it appears that no one was hurt. First update I saw that the stadium was evacuated and there's been no reports of any injuries coming from it. And very thankful to the very quick response time, it looks like, from the Denver Fire Department. So shout out to them, and honestly shout out to all fire departments across the country. Firefighters are badass, but this was a big fire. And like I said, I don't really know much about fires, so I'm not going to stand here and pretend like I know how a fire starts in a concrete stadium like this. I will say right before we started filming, or as I'm filming right now even, the Denver Gazette just tweeted out that the fire is under control, according to the Denver Fire Department, so very thankful to see that. And I guess we'll just go with this. Thank you to the Denver Fire Department. Like the video if you agree. I don't know how you can't not like firefighters and appreciative of everything they do for this country. So hit the thumbs up icon. And with that, let's get into what was supposed to be today's show, which honestly we were just about to film before I saw on Twitter that the Mile High Stadium was on fire. So here are the top free agents remaining as we make quite a transition from stadium on fire to the Broncos have about $16 million in cap space. Now, they can't just spend all $16 million on free agents. They have to be able to pay their own draft picks. Now, when you don't have a first-round pick, you don't have to pay that much to your third-round guy or second and third, right? The allotment, it goes down as you get later in the draft. So maybe they want to splurge on Tyrann Mathieu. I don't think they have a glaring need at safety, but when a playmaker and ball hawk like Tyrann Mathieu is still on the board, or you're still on the market, you got to at least start having the conversation. And I think part of that conversation, at least from Mathieu's side, is, do you want revenge games? The Chiefs went out and they got Justin Reid from the Texans to replace you. They thought you were done, Mathieu. So if you want to go to a team where you can play twice a season against your old team, and also be on a team that has Russell Wilson and one of the most ascending teams in the NFL, what more of a pitch do you want? 2021, Mathieu was still one of the best safeties in the NFL. 3 interceptions, a sack. Broncos country knows this. The guy has terrorized Denver for his last 3 seasons in Kansas City. If you can't beat him, how about you bring him over? So, do you want the Broncos to sign Tyrann Mathieu? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Let me know if you want Denver to go out and, ink one of the best safeties in the NFL and bring him over to pair up with Justin Simmons. Next player to look at is Duane Brown, the offensive tackle. Duane Brown, I think I got that right? Yeah, for the Seattle Seahawks. And he's old. Sorry, he's 36. And that's a slight worrisome age to sign someone in free agency. But last season, he was still a very productive right tackle for the Seattle Seahawks, so he can help out a ton. Ranks 37 out of 83 according to Pro Football Focus, and I think PFF's a good tool to use when you're talking about players in the trenches because they don't have the stats like others do. Now, he's getting up there in the age column. But my other thought is, does Russell Wilson, who got sacked a ton in Seattle, want to bring some of his old linemen over to Denver? Isn't that kind of the reason why he left? I don't know. I don't know how he feels about his old linemen back in Seattle. Third player we're going to check out, Kareem Jackson. K-Jack, I don't know what Denver wants to do with him in terms of if they're interested in bringing him back. He's up there. He's been a veteran for quite some time. Of course, started his career in Houston, been with the Broncos for the last couple of seasons. And I think if you look at the safety room right now, you have a star and a rising star, especially in Justin Simmons. There's a lot of people liking Caden Sterns. Caden Sterns, the second-year guy now out of Texas. He looked good in training camp and preseason last year. Simmons and K-Jack just stayed healthy all year pretty much, so you never got to see much of Caden Sterns. But I think Denver may be looking to pass it on to him and not have to go out and spend big money at the safety position and allocate that money elsewhere. But if you want to bring Kareem Jackson back, how about we send some good vibes his way? Type 22 down in the comment section, his jersey number, if you want to see Kareem Jackson return to the Denver Broncos and run it back and be a part of a team that's going to get a lot better with Russell Wilson. Speaking of Russell Wilson, he's got jerseys now, and he's not only cooking at his practice facility out in California. If you didn't see all the Russ cooking a mile high today jokes on Twitter, what were you doing? But you can go to chatsports.com/Broncos jersey to get Russell Wilson jerseys in all sorts of sizes and colors. So make sure you hook yourself up with the #1 jersey selling off the racks at Mile High. Get yourself a #3 Russell Wilson jersey. Go to chatsports.com/Broncos jersey. Links in the comments and the description of the video. Fourth player I'm looking at is Riley Reiff. An older player, offensive tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals. The thing I like about him is that he made the transition from left tackle to right tackle, and that's what Denver needs. They got Garett Bolles over on the left side, and so when you check out the depth chart here, I don't know how confident I am in Calvin Anderson. Young guy out of Texas, and I just don't want to see the Broncos go out and kind of mail it in and skimp on the right tackle position and feel like between Calvin Anderson, Tom Compton, and a 3rd or 4th round draft pick, one of those guys will emerge to be half decent. No, you just got Russell Wilson. Protect the player. That was his biggest issue in in Seattle, was he kept getting sacked. I just don't want to see the Broncos go, we can make do with a half-decent right tackle. No, get him a good offensive lineman, right? Help out, build up front. With that in mind, I think it's pretty obvious what I think the Broncos' biggest need is, but let me know what you think it is. They recently signed a nickel corner, right? So they don't really need another corner, but maybe. I also like Michael Ojemudia coming back. Someone mentioned that in the comments. Kind of forget about him. So let me know what you think it is down below. 5th and final free agent target, Nick Kwiatkoski. Longtime Chicago Bear, then went to the AFC West with the Las Vegas Raiders, and the signing from the Bears to the Raiders just didn't go to plan in Vegas' eyes. In fact, we got the stats here from when he was with Chicago in 2018 and 2019, and then in 2020 and 2021, he is in Vegas, and you can see why the Raiders signed him after that 2019 season. 16 games, 76 tackles, 3 sacks, but then in 2020 and 2021, couldn't quite stay healthy and just wasn't the player they thought they were going to get when they signed him. But you can get him cheap, and I still think he could be a nice off-ball linebacker for the Broncos, especially with Baron Browning moving maybe to an edge rusher position. Let's end the video on a question that really has nothing to do with the Broncos, but I want to keep it light. Who will win March Madness? We're about to start the Sweet 16 as I film this right now on Thursday. Let me know who you think is going to be the March Madness winner down below in the comment section. I'm going to go with Gonzaga because I like to pick storylines when it comes to championships. For example, I saw Virginia winning a mile away. There's no way you don't get bounced from a 16 seed and not win it the next season. Gonzaga, big team last year, fell short. I'm going to ride with the Bulldogs. Let me know what you think, though, down below. And that's going to do it for us here on the Broncos Breakdown.